Hello traders, Steve Gans here, and I want to wrap up a start to finish trade. So I started this trade a couple months back when FedEx was trading in around the 260 range, somewhere in there. And we can see right now it's trading at 254. So let's take a look at a chart here. So this is a chart of FedEx. So I had started this trade when FedEx was trading back in around this area, starting to rebound a little bit. And then it shot way up, which gave me some great opportunities. Now, of course, it's been drifting back off. So let's go look at how I adjusted this trade over time. So again, when this trade first started off, I did it as what is called a breakout for free. Now, it's not really for free because I was taking some risk on this trade. When FedEx was trading in the 260 range, I basically put on this particular spread, which meant that if FedEx stayed down between 260 and 230, now keep in mind this is after it had already had this massive drop and it dropped a little bit into this range. So when it was starting to recover, I felt a little more comfortable putting on that trade. And I also had a commitment that if FedEx did drop below the 230, I would go ahead and take assignment on those short puts. I was okay with that. But this is the trade that I started off with. Had I never modified this trade during its life, I'd be up $246. However, this is where I want to drive home the importance of tweaking or modifying a trade or adjusting a trade. So what happened, FedEx shot up significantly. When we take a look at this chart on earnings, FedEx jumped all the way up here to 290. So at that point, when FedEx was all the way up here, this trade was nicely profitable. I also held an opinion at that point that FedEx had probably exceeded or was going to start to top out in this area because that had been about a prior high as well, which always gives me a clue. So when I look at this and FedEx gapped up into here, I decided to go ahead and sell a call on this trade. I took out my lower put, closed it up because it was at all profit at that point, and then I sold a short call much higher, which turned this into a vertical call spread. And again, at that point, FedEx was all the way up here at about 290. So my premise at that point was that FedEx probably wasn't going to go significantly higher, which is why I sold the short call. So removing that short put and selling this short call turned this into a no-lose trade to where no matter what FedEx did, I had locked in $945 in profit. So the next step in this, as FedEx hung out up in this general range, I decided, you know what, I can sell another call spread on this. Basically, I turned it into a butterfly, selling this call spread at 290. And again, remember, it was trading up around 290 at that time. So I was able to get a decent amount of money by selling this call spread because I was selling an at-the-money call. Then I was buying a further out call. And we can see that took my max, you can't call it loss, it bumped up my minimal profit. So previous to selling that call spread, the max profit I could get out of that was 143. But I had basically nothing. This thing could run to the upside forever. And if it did that, I would be up $3,800. So those were my two choices. And then by selling that call spread, I capped this out a little bit to the upside, actually gave myself a little risk to the upside. But again, I felt additional upside movement there was unlikely. And I sold this particular call here for $10.25, bought this one for $3.30. So that's going to increase the profitability in this trade by about $700-800. So now my downside risk, if you will, again, we were trading up here at around 290, somewhere in that range. As this thing started to slide back, I added this. So this raised this again, the $700 or so I took in. Final step I did on this, as we started to slide back, I felt comfortable moving this call down a little bit closer to the money, again, taking in additional money. So I basically bought back this 290 for cheap, Remember, I had sold that for $10 and change. I bought it back for $3 or $300 because, of course, we're talking options. Everything is times 100. So that gave me additional profit in this trade. So that locked in some of this profit. And then by selling this one, which was closer to the money at that time, I left my long protection in place here at the 260. But I moved the 290, this right here, down to 270. And again, I did that as FedEx was selling off a little bit. I did that on 327. So let's go back and look at our chart here for 327. So that was, let's see. Yeah, in this range here. Again, opinion was that we weren't going to go much higher. So I was able to roll that down to here, and then the market sold off from there. So now I'm in a position on this trade where right now I've got $2,600 in profit. If FedEx continues down, that's going to drop to about $2,300. So there's nothing wrong with leaving this set at this point, but I feel like FedEx is likely going to go down a little further at this point, maybe even down here to 242. So if that's my opinion, and my opinion is not that FedEx is likely to get back up into this range, I could adjust even further, but at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and close out this trade for a nice 94% profit, $2,600. So to do that, I'll come out to my saved trades. And this is the list. Had I not done anything with this trade, I'd be up 246. Had I only done this first adjustment, I'd be up 1259. Had I only done this second adjustment, I'd be up 1951. And given all the adjustments I've made, this trade is up 2605. And again, I'm going to go ahead and just close this trade at this point. And these are all mid-price. My profit would be something in that general vicinity. So that concludes this start to finish trade on FedEx. I hope you found the concept of adjustments to be helpful and useful. Obviously, virtually every trade I put on, I have an adjustment plan. I don't have to adjust every one of them. Many of them I can ride out for a little while, get 10, 15, 20%, close them. But some of them I ride a little bit further like this if I can adjust them into what I consider to be good risk-reward zones. So if you like this content, if it's helpful, please give a comment down below. Please like, subscribe, and thank you very much. Take care, everyone.